Welcome into week 6 of your character creation project. We hope you start seeing the principles of Money Vehicle really being translated into a financial plan that you are creating. This week, our message and theme is mow your grass. When we start to look at opportunities and some things like credit, we really need to focus on what is and what is not in our control. When we look at mow your grass, people use that analogy and that phrase because I can only control what's in my yard. I can mow my grass and make it clean. My neighbor's yard, the people down the street, I don't control their yard. I don't mow their grass. So when you start to understand this framework, mow your grass means I'm going to focus on what I do control, and I'm going to try to eliminate my fears, my worries, and my reasons for things I don't control. As we jump into the credit chapter, we're going to start building a credit score for our character. As you can see, my character, Gabriel Lucana, has a credit score today of 620. Not horrible, but also not good. It's not an advantage of a credit score yet, so we're going to start building that credit score up. It's not necessarily Gabriel's fault. I haven't had credit yet. I haven't been using it. I just turned 18. I'm starting a job. There are so many things that I need to get started in this credit game, which is why you as a student today may benefit from becoming an authorized user on a family card or even starting a secured credit card early on. You will see as we review credit cards that there are secured credit cards available, but Gabriel's ready. He says, I'm going to go unsecured, which we know now means does not have a underlying asset securing this loan. It is an unsecured loan, which we're going to see in our APY and our interest rates as we move forward. So with a 620 credit score, I went to bankrate.com and I started to look up how exactly we were going to get our first credit card. The name of the institution is one you've probably heard of, Capital One. Not a brand new theme, not a new name. We're not trying to go out of left field. I'm trying to get started, and Capital One obviously wants clients for a long time, so they offer the Capital One Platinum credit card. Is there a recommended credit score to apply for this? It is meant to be a starting card, so they're going to offer it to anybody above a 580. When you start to get under that 580 into a low credit score, credit opportunities and really the trust of your financial reputation is extremely low. As someone starting out, you won't start in the 500s. They don't discredit you. Typically, you fall into that 580 after you have made a mistake. So having a 620 allows me to be eligible for this platinum credit card. What is the APY? What interest rate are they going to charge per year? This is where we need the high alert. It is 29.99%. It's 30%. Marketing be damned. So as we look at 30% interest, I know if I have $100 on my credit balance, I'm going to be charged $30 over the course of a year. That is simply an interest rate I never want to pay, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. What is really cool about this is the credit limit is starting very low. Again, it's meant for a beginner's card, only about $300 as a credit limit. But after 6 months, if I'm using this wisely, I will have an automatic update of what that credit limit can extend to. In 6 months, I extended up maybe to $500 or $1,000. And in a year or two, I can then now, as I build my credit score up, I can go and review the other options and the other opportunities with more perks and advantages that credit cards do offer. But again, do not let those perks and advantages mistake you for that 30% interest rate. We cannot pay that. Are there any account fees? One of the reasons I like this Capital One card is because there are no annual fees. As you start to get higher in a credit card world, they'll throw in a $90 annual fee or a $300 annual fee, but you'll receive so much more from all the rewards. We're not there yet. You're not going to be spending that much money. So looking at no annual fee, I don't want to have to earn my money back. Now, as I progress and in Jed's real world today, I look at an airline card, and if I can get an airline ticket that's going to cost $400 or $500 and pay a $100 annual fee, that is an exchange for me individually today. But Gabriel is not at that point. So, no annual fees and no charges for foreign transactions, which is a nice perk. But aligning this idea, very few perks, very few rewards, high interest. This is meant to be a beginner's card. When is our due date? Gabriel's due date is going to be the 7th of each month. Once you open a card, you will see when your billing statement is for and when your due date is for. And I have already, Gabriel Lucana, set up an automatic payment for the 5th of each month. And yes, we are going to treat our debt credit like a debit card. We are going to pay off the balance in full. None of this minimum amount due that makes me mad. We're going to pay off our balance in full each month because I am not absorbing or putting on crazy amounts of money on my credit card. What rewards or benefits does this card have? I mentioned it's a beginner card. They're not charging you fees. They're not charging you things. So they're not going to give you a whole lot either. But one big benefit is that it does provide fraud and ID theft. So if I have fraudulent activities on my credit card, I'm not responsible. If my ID gets stolen, I will be alerted. And those are just nice benefits to have. Gabriel's always thinking ahead. He's thinking about maybe becoming his own business here in a few months or years. So we also peeked at those business credit cards, which you'll be able to see as you log in and start to review. Your character check. Where are you going to look up your credit report, credit score? Really neat through Capital One, through that beginner's credit card. I now have access to Credit Wise, which is a soft inquiry, meaning it is not going to negatively impact my credit score if I continue to do it. And it gives me a dark web review. They go on the dark web, look if my credit card, my credit score, any of my information has been breached. That is something, again, Chapter 8, cybersecurity, we are going to need to continually do. But I always want to point out and remind, while every credit company, credit card may give you a credit score, may give you some, if you want your report from every bureau, every reporting bureau, you're going to go to annualcreditreport.com and get your credit report, not just that 3-digit credit score. It is important, but you'll see how it is made up in that report. How are you going to go about looking at your credit score, and what is it going to help Gabriel do in the future? Well, first and foremost, in 6 months, I hope I get to increase my credit limit, which will reduce how much of my credit I'm using. It will also increase the type and the amount of credit available to me. I have now had 6 months of ongoing payments, so all of that going to increasing a credit limit as an improved credit score. When I start looking for new apartments, maybe I don't want a roommate anymore. As I look through that, my credit score is going to be a big and important deal. Lowering insurance costs, we'll talk about this in Chapter 7. But yes, your credit score, your financial reputation is connected into your credit score, into your insurance premiums. On the dashboard, I'm going to add in a credit debt of $100 per month. Even though a lot of my expenses that I'm going to pass through my credit, I'm already accounting for, I do want to make sure some of these additional items that I'll have on my credit card are going to be past choices once that bill comes due. I'm also going to reach out and ask my landlord, can I connect my rental payment to my credit report? That can be done through companies today like Self, SELF. They are connecting your rental payments you're making each and every month, to improve your credit score. Auto loans, I don't have any auto loans just yet, but hey, down the road, we are going to want to look at a car, especially after we ride the bus for a few months. Jumping over to Bankrate, I see, hey, where can I go look up the best credit cards for 2024? I have already pulled up and reviewed my Capital One Platinum credit card. You see the APR, 30%. That's not a winner. But the ease of building credit is why I'm starting this. The cost is basically virtually nothing. So as we weigh these pros and cons, you should be able to review based on the questions you've learned in Chapter 5 of reviewing your credit score. So I'm going to come down here to other debts. All right, so now I am paying my family that $42 per month to get that debt payment back. I'm going to add in $100 credit card debt. As you can see, my savings has gone down. My score is still a 90, but we got a lot more to add as we move forward. Keep showing people you speak the language of money by building your financial reputation, getting a credit card, using it wisely, and paying it off in full each month. And keep driving your money vehicle. We'll see you at the next stop.